Everyone's talking about incels today. So
Why
that's the thing.
incels? What do they do today?
Nothing today, but last week the dude in what was it? Toronto, he drove over a bunch of people in his van like an asshole. And then he had some sort of what was it? Fuck. Like a Facebook message talking about some incel rebellion.
What would be an incel rebellion?
Probably a lot of mass casualty incidents. That would be an incel. Yeah, like just
Okay,
like
wait,
Elliot
like a
Rodger.
violent rebellion.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought they were rebelling against incels. It's incels doing the rebellion. Okay.
Yeah, rebelling against society because they're the victims. Oh, boohoo! I can't get laid. Boohoo! Right? Yeah. So, I know that's gonna piss some people off by saying that, but the truth is, if I might be candid, I would say that incels are just self-pitying people, right? They're just like SJWs, but on the other side, the flip side of it, and they claim to want to get laid, but the truth is that they're just lonely people, right? And there's nothing wrong with being lonely, but the point is you should try to better yourself, fix yourself, make yourself a desirable person. If you hate yourself that much, how can you expect anyone to love you? You have to develop traits, skills, be someone that other people will want to be around, be someone that other people could fall in love with. Don't be someone who's a schmuck, who's feeling sorry for himself and just, blaming other people for it. I mean, no one wants to be around you when you're like that. You're a downer.
Lashing out at the world is never the answer.
No,
That's never the logical answer to anything that happens. And that's all this is, right? This is lashing out at the world.
Lashing out at the world. I mean, just like when feminists go after the patriarchy, that's just lashing out at the world. They might be lonely, miserable cat ladies, and they don't want to better themselves. They don't want to say, hey, there's something wrong with me. I'm 300 pounds overweight. Why don't I do something about this? Oh no, it's too hard. They want other people to accept them for who they are, and when who they are is unacceptable to even themselves. I mean, you can't wake up every morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and see some 400-pound behemoth and be like, yeah, I love me. No, you're not gonna. As healthy as that would be, arguably, you're not going to like yourself. You're going to hate every moment of your day. When you try to walk around, you become out of breath. You hate yourself. So what do? You exercise. You lose weight. You make yourself into someone that other people can like, and someone that you yourself can like. I mean, that should be the goal.
I agree. But it's easy. It's easy to fall into this thing where you let yourself just be miserable. Mm-hmm. And then, it's the world's fault that you're miserable. Can't be your fault. It's got to be the world's fault that you're miserable.
Yep. And then these people, whether they're feminists or SJWs or, some Tumberinas or incels, they form a community around it. It becomes a badge of honor. They want to stop hating themselves, but instead of making themselves into people they can love, they decide, I want other people to love me for being a miserable piece of shit. And that doesn't work. It's it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. It's toxic. It's like a snake eating its own tail and asking why it's still hungry. It doesn't work. And that is the problem of incels. It's the problem of SJWs. It's the oppression hierarchy. Cannibalistic. Yep. They want to have a place on it. The oppression hierarchy. Oh, look at me! I'm oppressed. I'm a victim. Oh, poor. Woe is me. Nah. Don't think like that. That makes you a prisoner of your own mind. You're locking yourself in there and you're feeling comfortable. It's like, look at me, I'm in a special prison. It's got my name on it. Yeah, so what? It's still a prison. You want to be free, go outside. You have the key, right?
Maybe you don't have to lock up. You don't have to lock people up who are going to sit there and lock themselves up.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
People are willing to lock themselves in a cage. Then what the fuck are you need? What do you need to waste the time doing it for?
Yep. And that, I think, is the media's problem. It's going after. I wouldn't call these people vulnerable. I wouldn't even call them victims because they are victims of their own creation. But yeah, the media does spend a lot of time making, basically giving into what they want, fulfilling their idea of themselves, and that's not healthy either.
They have a need for a certain kind of attention.
It's a fucked up kind of validation.
Yeah, the media is very ready to hand it to them.
Yep. And the media is demonizing people who are actually handing them a rope to come out of that hole. People like Jordan Peterson are like, hey, you need to find a purpose. Hey, you need to love yourself. You need to be a man, be masculine. Learn that it's not a bad thing to be a man who's desirable, who wants to have a family. There's nothing wrong with these things, and yet the media is demonizing him. The one person, maybe not the one person, but one of the few people who are actually helping them, making a difference in society. And, I wouldn't be surprised if a year from now we were to, hear about multiple incidences where incels are involved in violence because of what the media is doing. And that can be, it's of course, it's the ultimate responsibility of the person or persons who decides to commit that violence, but they're being encouraged. That shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a thing. The media should. I
still can't tell if I like Jordan Peterson or not. He seems all right. I can't tell if I like him or not.
Yeah, he's all right. I mean, you don't have to agree with him on everything. He doesn't encourage you to, parrot his views.
No, I'm just still on the fence. I haven't seen enough of him and all that stuff. Like, I've seen some, and I agree with some, disagree with some. Nothing, earth-shattering yet, but
yep.
Yep. I still can't tell if I like him. I gotta figure that out.
Some people say, "Oh, he's just a self-help guy," and I'm like,
"Is that the angle?"
That's some of their angles. Yeah, they attack him like that, right? The I guess that's a centrist attack on him. Like the leftist attack would be to just call him far right or alt right or whatever, right? And that's not true. But the centrists will say, "Oh, he's just a self-help guy, and you guys are just falling into it." My response to that is, well, he's effective. There are many self-help people out there, but are they actually effective? They're not helping anyone. So, maybe you can level that argument against some random dude, but for Jordan Peterson, all his stuff is free. He's not asking you for money.
There was all right. Doesn't he charge for like personality tests?
Yes, but it's a one-on-one sort of thing. It's like it's a self-help sort of program where it basically helps you to identify your own faults and how to work through them. They'll have like a teacher.
Well, yeah. Well, to that end, I mean, wouldn't that be? He is kind of a self-help guy who sells some stuff. Then.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, but
it's nothing. I don't hate that. He can do what he wants, but I mean, that would be kind of valid criticism that people are coming at him with, then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind it at all.
I mean, just a professor, really. Like I've heard that he like sells those. I don't know all of the angles on his business model. I just knew that he was a professor before.
He still is a professor. Yeah, he teaches at the University of Toronto. And I don't see anything wrong with offering a service. I mean, if a professional service, for instance, if you go to a dietitian, he's going to teach you how to eat well so that you can lose weight, right? And as you know, dieting is 80%, working out 20%. And a lot of people don't know what to do with that 80%. So if someone is willing to charge a fee, whether it's $50 a month or $500 a month, if they're actually helping you and they're delivering results, I don't see the problem with it. It's a small price to pay for a lot of self-improvement. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. If you can help yourself, then by all means do it. But if you feel like you need help, go to a therapist, right? Or in this case, go to a self-help person.
No, I feel you there, but I have nothing against selling a service either. But there's this thing where people feel really dirty for selling a service.
I think it's because people have been burned,
Well, people have been burned, but there's also this thing where people are like, okay, I'm going to get on this really sanctimonious thing where my time is worth nothing. Therefore, everyone's time should be worth nothing. No one should ever try to make money on anything ever. And that is that. Okay. Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, these exact same people jump out and they go and try to make money on things.
Right. That's not Jordan Peterson's shtick at all.
No, I'm not saying that's him, but I'm just saying this is a thing that's happened to a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah.
To where people are able to use their own words and hang
them. Yep. Fortunately for Jordan, that's yet to happen.
Just be upfront. Be like, I have nothing. There's nothing wrong with fucking a market. There's nothing wrong with buying, selling things. Nothing wrong with any of that shit.
It's capitalism. It's capitalism. And a lot of people are opposed to it based on the fact that it's capitalism. They'll say there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, right? That's the communist saying, and they actually believe that. It's insane how that has submerged itself into the social consciousness.
Hi guys.
Hey
Ian.
Hey V.
I missed you.
I missed you too, dude. How's it going?
So Failure gave me a link, said Tonka wants to talk to me.
Well, I said that I hadn't talked to you in forever. You do the kick, like you were in the middle of the Kick V show. You always do the Kick V show.
Well, not always. I do try to keep it as often as possible, but if I don't have anything to talk about, then I don't.
No, I mean that's good. Like it's regular. You're usually doing the Kick V show around this time. Did you end it early?
I saw Mr. Medicers. I believe it was a Meadowcast. Well, he's complaining about Jordan Peterson's practices. It's like, why do you need the person to tell you to clean your room or something like that? And well, first of all, like I think people just hate Peterson because psychology as a profession has been for quite a few decades now, and they all do the same, right? You go to a psychologist, you tell them your problems, and they try to offer a solution. This is not something new. And secondly, if you have a person that's into social justice and he wants to change the world, I think telling him, like, maybe you should start by cleaning your room. Maybe that is a step that some people need. Like, if you can't change your own life, because, this is a metaphor, right? If you can't change your own life, how can we expect to change the world?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any problem with Peterson.
That's the crux of it, right? You have to clean your room, get your affairs in order to do anything else. I mean, you have to be in charge of your own life, be responsible. Clean your own room is essentially saying, don't let other people clean it for you. Do it yourself, right? It's about picking yourself up by the bootstraps, so to speak.
Yeah, there was this communist saying, it's like, oh, what's so cool about cleaning your room? And I said, well, when you have a girl over and you came in there and the room is clean, that is fucking cool, isn't it? But try inviting a girl over and you have your sticky socks all over the place. Your bed is not tidy.
Did you say stinky or sticky?
You can choose whichever you want to go with. Maybe
both
one that's
good.
sticky, one that's stinky. I don't know. But honestly, right? Like, no woman wants to fuck in a messy room, right? So cleaning your room is cool. It's not cool to clean it, but it's cool when it's clean.
And no guy really wants to fuck in a nasty room either. I mean, if they went to a woman's house and it was a fucking mess, would you really fuck on a donut stained bed sheets? I mean, come on.
I think you're underestimating my abilities, man. You're definitely underestimating my abilities. It depends on the girl as well. I mean, in an emergency situation, you just throw a towel over the mess. Like,
I think it gets to, that would depend on having a good relationship with that person. Let's say you're dating for, 6 months or something, and they have a messy room. You wouldn't mind doing them in their room like that. But if, you just invited a date over and it's your third date and, it's getting heavy, it's getting serious, you probably, the girl probably won't want to fuck you if your room looks like a pig's den. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, women look at these things, the little things, and having a messy room means you're a lazy person, right? You're not.
It's a reflection.
You're not going to be good around the house, basically, right? Because
useless.
Yeah, as you said, right? It's at the third date. Like, if you can't bother to clean your room by the third date, that's a major alarm sign. Like, after a couple of months after she knows you, that's different. But we're talking like in the beginning, you couldn't even bother to clean it then yeah, that's a problem.
Shows zero effort on your part.
Minimal effort. I won't lie. I have a piles. That's how I organize things. I don't care. I'm a very like 80s kind of organization guy. Piles. That's how I do things. Just piles of paperwork.
Tom in the chat said if they want to fuck, I'll fuck them in a dumpster. I don't care.
Oh, God.
Jesus. Oh. I don't know how I feel about Peterson just yet. Like, it all depends on how he sells it. There's this weird thing where people want to have shame in what they actually do. And it's like, well, it's not really this. Just be like, yeah, it's this. It's no big deal. Who cares? Like, just say, he does self-help. if he's like, yeah, I did some self-help, it's no big deal.
No, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's better than being a pathetic, miserable piece of shit who cannot help themselves.
To be fair, before psychologists, and in my country it's still valid because there's a lot of religious people, the priest used to be the psychologist, right? So when you'd have like some life issues,
there were the doctors before.
Well, like, honestly, in my hostel, instead of like normally you'd have to get the shrink when people want to kill themselves or stuff like that. But my hostel, besides the shrink, they also got the priest, and it turns out that it had quite a high success rate. And if you have a priest moralizing about killing yourself and ending up in hell,
it gives them purpose, right? It gives them a sense of purpose, something beyond themselves. These people are too, immersed in their egos. They're narcissists, right? They have that problem where they think too much of of nothing else but what is their present, and that's not an overall goal. That doesn't give them something to live for.
Accurate.
No, but the thing is, like, the same reason why pickup artists are, some of them that they make millions of dollars is because you have these teenagers that reach a point in their life where they notice something's wrong with them, right? Something's not working, but they can't figure it out themselves.
Mm-hmm. You need help,
and it's not every person that goes through this. Some people figure it out, but for other people, it's a little difficult. So having that person that offers help is a good thing to have. It's the same, like as you said, people losing weight. Not everyone is fat and needs to lose weight.
Yep. Depends on how heavy you are, how comfortable you are with yourself. If you're like 500 pounds, you got to do something about it. You're gonna die otherwise, right?
Or like companies that do interior design. Like anyone can just go into a house and say, yeah, this is the way furniture should be. But there's some people that have absolutely no sense of style. So, maybe they want to apply for help for an interior designer.
It's a service, yeah. I mean, everything, even the furniture that you use, the chair you sit on, the table that you put your computer on. You could learn to make a table and a chair and do it all by yourself for free, essentially. But wouldn't it be easier? Wouldn't it be better use of your time to do some other job that you're actually good at and pay someone who's actually good at this to provide you with the chair and the table, right? That is essentially, supply and demand, the service industry. You could do everything by yourself if you wanted to, and you could go live like a hermit in a forest or something. And some people actually do that, and I applaud them for being able to be self-sufficient. They're not slaves to the technological society, so to speak, right? But it's hard for most people to do that, and I don't expect most people to do that.
I think the conversation what Jim was saying on his Meadowcast is that why would you need professional help, right? Like, why would you need to apply to Peterson when you can figure shit out for yourself? And it's for some people, they don't need this help, right? But it's like saying, why do you need to go to a doctor if you have a broken hand? It's like, well, not everyone has a broken hand, but the people that do, they're happy that a doctor is there to help them out.
Yeah, it's a skill. And I think a lot of people undervalue the services that people like Peterson provide.
I want to throw this out there. I think that if somebody needs to be told all these things that they need to do, then they're going to be in worse shape than needing a couple pep talks from.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. It's
Jordan Peterson. They've got problems. It's the
one thing
problems.
One thing he did identify, and this is him dissecting his own popularity. He suggested that the reason why so many young men basically gravitate towards his views, or they learn from him, is because no one else in their lives has been able to provide them with that sort of fatherly advice. I mean, that's all he's giving, fatherly advice. He's like Kratos in God of War, trying to teach his son Atreus how to be a man, right? How to grow up. And a lot of people lack this in their lives. They don't have a dad, a strong father figure to teach them right from wrong, how to learn from their mistakes, how to control their emotions. They're just left to their own devices. And yeah, maybe some of them turn out to be chads, use their little vernacular. But other people, most people without strong figures in their lives, people look up to, heroes basically, or just dads, they don't know how to do all of this. No one's taught them how to do it. And, if they can learn just a little bit from Jordan Peterson or whether it's CH Summers maybe. Why not? At least that way they can learn just a little bit that they need, that push that they need.
I gotta throw out that you compared him to Kratos.
Yes, I did. Yeah, good game, by the way. You play a dad and you're teaching your son. Boy, come here, boy.
You know what I really liked about that game? It's like he usually calls him boy unless he's really pissed off, and then it's Atreus.
yeah. The writing in it is fantastic.
All right, Failure, are you alive?
I don't know.
Okay, you sound alive. Now we have V here, and he heard the old Kick V song.
Mm-hmm.
Now recently, somebody came out with a new Kick V song. And I don't know if you've got to hear it yet, V. Have you?
Nope.
Oh, it's a much prettier song.
I'm completely clueless.
Now, see, Scrub, I enjoy his Kick V, but this one's more of a loveless song, more of a sweet song. Do you have this one, Failure? Do you know who made it?
It's gonna be the Pud Honey.
The Pud fucking Honey.
Yeah.
They're talented. I give them that.
All right, here you go, peoples. This is a short one, so don't kill us.
Don't run away.
Out of the Google Hangout nightly, so as to appease chat, you'll see some high-class spurgery, some advanced faggotry that makes you laugh. Wow, Kick V. Out of every live stream, leave V. Back in Romania, drag your cursor and click on the X to put a hex on that fat incel Jew-gypsy. So Kick V.
It's yours. Okay, V.
I appreciate it, but I have to ask, it has your voice. Did you sing that?
Oh, me?
Yeah, it's...
Oh, damn. Don't be insulting Pud Honey like that. Pud Honey has the voice of an angel.
That's a beautiful song.
It was. That one was done really well. By the way, that's Pud Honey. They're making music now.
That was a really nice song. Did you like it, V?
I did like it.
Did you get in Scrub Submarine? Get the fuck out of my boy Submarine, Failure. That's not yours. Your voice is all fucked up. Get out.